Alright, what's up guys, this is Alex. And if you play Fortnite, obviously you know the update dropped yesterday. And in this video I want to kind of discuss what this update means for Fortnite. So I feel like this update kind of serves as a huge milestone for the Fortnite community. Because all these new areas, Tilted Towers, Junk Junction, all these new areas are like, they kind of have their own kind of flavor. Like already, you know, Retail Row, um, Pleasant Park, Loot Lake, they all kind of have their own fighting dynamic. You know, at Loot Lake, there's usually these huge battles. Some people are at the house that's kind of in the middle of the lake. People are at the buildings that's across from the lake, like on the docks. And there are these crazy battles, people just shooting across the lake and people building on top of the lake. And these new areas have their own fighting style as well. So, especially Tilted Towers, man. Tilted Towers. So, first of all, I feel like the gameplay is kind of slowing down, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it doesn't mean that it can't pick back up. That just means that gameplay may become a little more skill based since it's kind of slower, you know? Like, slower games generally generate, you know, or require more skill. So I'm not sure if it's just slowing down because, you know, like the update just came out. People want to see the new areas. So that could be one reason it's slowing down. Or it could just be like this for the rest of, you know, Fortnite's little like career or whatever. This guy right here is trying to do something fancy on me. I had to teach him a lesson. Alright, but the gameplay is definitely slower. Like I said, I don't know if that's just because it just came out and people are trying to, you know, just see the areas, or if it's gonna be like this for, you know, the rest of the time as long as people play Fortnite. But it's definitely slowed down. You'll see in this gameplay I actually only get like 3 or 4 kills, where usually I'll drop 10, 11 kills. I might not win, but I'll get 10, 11, a lot of kills usually. But like I said, slower pace doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. It just means there's probably going to be a lot more skill involved, because when it's a lot more fast paced, you know, people die a little quicker. So people who probably wouldn't normally last that long end up lasting that long, because, you know, all of the good people have killed each other off, and then all the bad people who are hiding in bushes or sitting on top of kitchen counters in Retail Row are still alive. So yeah. And you guys obviously know that a lot of different locations have kind of like a different sort of skill base. Like a lot of the pros don't really enjoy going to Retail Row. They go to Anarchy Acres, Flush Factory. Sometimes they do go to Retail Row because, you know, they're just skilled enough to survive in Retail Row. Me, I prefer going to Anarchy Acres, Fatal Fields, or Flush Factory. Those are my favorite places to go, or a few other unmarked places on the map. So with that being said, you know, the gameplay is slowing down, but it may pick back up, and another way they can remedy this is to perhaps add more players. Now with that, I'm not sure how I feel about adding more people. I have heard people mentioning it. I was watching Optic Big Timer. He mentioned that maybe they could add more people, but I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, maybe that make it just too cluttered or just too crazy. Maybe I'm not actually sure. I want you guys to let me know what you think of that, because this is the only battle royale game I've ever played. I've watched people play H1Z1. I watched people play a lot of other battle royale games. I used to love them growing up, but this is the only one I've actually played like hands-on. So I'm not sure if that ruin the game or make it a lot better. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think they should do. If it remains slow paced, should they, you know, like try to maybe like just crunch the map a little bit, make everything a little bit closer, just like a tidbit closer? Should they make the storm faster? What should they do? Should they add more people? Those are a couple of things that they could do to remedy, you know, like the gameplay being slowed down because of all these new areas on the map. But you guys let me know what you think should be done, or what you recommend, or what you would like to see be done. Alright, another thing, guys, are the fighting dynamics in these like buildings, primarily in Tilted Towers. Tilted Towers, if you haven't been there yet, or if you don't have the game, or whatever it may be, whatever the case is, Tilted Towers it's huge, dude. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the biggest building, or the biggest area on the map right now. Like, since they added it, it's the biggest area. And there are just these not necessarily huge buildings, but they're huge compared to what we've seen in Fortnite, you know? We've never really seen anything this big. Like, these buildings are pretty big compared to what, you know, we usually fight in, compared to like these little houses in Retail Row. and all of this. And usually most of the buildings we fight in, we build them. We build these bases. But I was playing, and I was playing on Tilted Towers, and people were shooting on these rooftops, just like these huge buildings, and people were shooting from windows, and it was just adding such a different dynamic that I had never experienced. You know, usually when I get into a gunfight in Fortnite, a guy shoots me from behind, I build a quick little base, so we fight, and whoever wins, wins. You know, that's usually how it goes. And I wasn't used to fighting, like actually like shooting from windows in these buildings, which added like a little bit of realism that I enjoyed to Fortnite. It's adding a little bit more flavor, something different. People, you know, like fighting on top of these buildings, building across to other buildings, to taller buildings, trying to get the vantage point on people. I just feel like Tilted Towers, obviously, some people are gonna get screwed over there. You know, you might get killed in some areas where you didn't even know people could be. Like a guy killed me the other day, I didn't even know where he was, and turns out it was just like the structure of the building was just so awkward that he could get me from that angle. But yeah, guys, I really think that the dynamics of these different buildings, especially in the Tilted Towers, is really gonna add a lot of different fighting scenarios in Fortnite. Because, you know, what we're used to, getting shot at, build a base, have a gunfight, whoever wins, wins. That's what we're used to. We're not used to being inside of these buildings, shooting from windows and shooting from these rooftops and stuff like that. I mean, of course, we'll do that in Retail Row. We'll be on top of a roof and we'll shoot across to somebody who's on another roof on another building. But we've never been in like these huge 3, 4, 5-story buildings shooting from these windows. I mean, like, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at these huge freaking buildings. This is like literally crazy. I don't know which one of these buildings. It was on one of those 2 gray buildings to the left that I was actually on top of, and somehow somebody got the jump on me and they flanked me, and just everything just looks crazy. The streets are just so real. Like everything about Tilted Towers just looks very real. It looks like it could honestly be a very real city or town or whatever you want to call it. So that's definitely going to add some different dynamics. And look at the attention to detail. You see the flowers right there were actually swaying as I was running past them. And I don't know about you guys, but I actually really enjoy, you know, like the small things that they pay attention to. The attention to detail, I really do appreciate it. Also, guys, like these different buildings, they're going to add different vantage points, different places to be. Like the clock tower, that's going to be a huge vantage point. You have a sniper, you got a scar. You get up on top of that sniper tower, on top of that clock tower. I don't know how you're going to do it. I haven't even been over there yet, over to the clock tower. But that's going to be a huge vantage point, especially if there are like squads of people who can like go to Tilted Towers or Junction, all these new different areas, and battle for control over these buildings. And that's going to ultimately give them control over like the entire area. And here, right here, we have Junction right here. Like, this is just such a, I'm not gonna say rich, but it's an environment that has its kind of own vibe to it. Like all these different areas have their own flavor, their own kind of vibe that they give off when you're in them. The map looks just way more unique, guys. Like the map looks so unique. I feel like Fortnite's just overall evolving. And when Fortnite first came out, it had its own vibe in terms of, okay, it's like this kind of cartoonish animated game. It's a battle royale. It's really fun. But the realism just kind of wasn't really there. But I feel like they're adding their own, their own sense of what they think is going to make this game great. And it's literally evolving right before our eyes, guys. Like, we were here when Fortnite first came out. We were playing it. And they've been coming out with all these updates. Fortnite was already a good game. And now that they're coming out with all of this different stuff to add, it's just making it that much better. Fortnite's literally, we're growing. The community and the game are growing like together. So I feel like this update is the first huge milestone in Fortnite's evolution. And I feel like there's a lot more to come, honestly. So yeah, guys, honestly, that's really all I have to say for Fortnite with this new update. Like, I haven't played enough to really give anything too in-depth on like much of anything. I'm gonna definitely go around and explore. I haven't even been playing to win. I've just been like looking for anything, like any, maybe, I don't know, little hints, clues, any like hidden meanings in any of these different areas, anything I can find. And if I do find anything, I will post it, but I haven't found anything yet. I'm just trying to explore, guys. I'm not even trying to win these games right now as I'm playing. I'm just trying to see these new areas. But yeah, guys, I want you guys to let me know what you think about the new update. what you really enjoyed that they added, anything that you may dislike about what they may have added. If you think any of the buildings or any of the areas may need tweaking. What do you guys think about the slower pace of gameplay? Have you experienced that like I have? Because I definitely have experienced it. As you see at this point in time, I only have 4 kills right here, guys. I'm about to get a 5th one. I'm going to get this guy. But I don't know. I just feel like the pace is definitely slower. And like I said, I don't know if that's because the because the update just dropped or what. But the pace is definitely slower. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about that. Just overall, from what you've seen, experienced with this update, what you've been playing, how do you feel it's gonna fare in, you know, the weeks and the months to come? Do you think there's gonna be, you know, do you think they're gonna need to make any adjustments or any other updates? Do you think anything's gonna be need to get tweaked? Anything, guys. And they also updated the freaking scoped AR, which is still kind of trash. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's all I gotta say, guys. It's been Zelix. Peace.